This is another paper 2, which is based on theme 2. Section A starts with multiple choice question. Which one of the following is an element of the marketing mix? So marketing mix is 4 P's: price, place, promotion and product. So it's place, C. Which one of the following is an element of design mix? It's cost. There are 3 in design mix: cost, aesthetics and function. So it's A. Explain one benefit to a business of producing high quality product. High quality product will lead to fewer defects. This leads to less wastage of raw materials, time and effort of employees to produce a product which is faulty. Therefore, fewer customer complaints. As a result, lower costs for the customer service department or replacing or repairing the product. Explain one advantage to a business of providing ongoing training to its employees. Ongoing training will make employees feel valued because they receive training on a regular basis. This will lead to them working harder. As a result, the productivity levels could be higher, therefore reducing the unit cost of making an item. These costs saved by the business could be spent on the employees' training. Which two of the following documents would be used by a business as part of its recruitment process? Person specification and job description. Which two of the following are advantages to a business of using just-in-time? Improved cash flow and stock is less likely to become out of date. So calculate the gross profit margin. The formula of gross profit margin is gross profit divided by sales revenues times 100. Put in the values and you'll get 30%. Explain one impact of excessive communication within a business. Excessive communication could be off-putting for the employees because they might be confused with so much information, unable to decide what to use. This will lead to more mistakes being made by the employees. As a result, customer might receive these products which have defects, creating customer dissatisfaction, damaging their reputation. Explain one disadvantage to a business of providing poor customer service. Poor customer service might lead to customers switching to a different business. They will opt to buy from the competitor who will give them better customer service. This will lead to reduction in market share for the business if nothing is done to improve their customer service. This will lead to drop in their revenues. As a result, business could struggle with their cash payments to suppliers and employees. Which one of the following is an internal source of finance? It's selling assets, it's D. So internal source of finance comes from inside the business. So selling assets is internal source. So the sales volume is given by the bar chart for January, February and March, and the selling price of the product is £500. So the question is calculate the sales revenue. So 500 times you add the sales in January, February and March, and that's how you get your answer. Explain one reason why a business may decide to pay its worker a bonus. Paying bonus to the workers will motivate them because they'll feel valued. The business recognizes their hard work and awards them. This might lead to them working harder and avoiding mistakes. They would want to stay with the business, hence lowering the cost of recruitment and training new employees for the business. Explain one drawback to a business of not being able to retain its employees. If a business is unable to retain its employees, they have to hire new workers. This will lead to increase in expenditure on advertising for the vacancy, interviewing and selection process, and training the new workers. This will result in increase in the cost for the business, thereby making them difficult to manage their net cash flow position. Discuss the likely benefit to a business of having decentralized organizational structure. Decentralized organizational structure will lead to decisions being made faster because the decisions are made closer to the problem instead of waiting for the top management to decide for them. This will lead the business to respond to opportunities in the market before the competitors do. As a result, business can develop competitive advantage and attract customers. It could also lead to reduction of the workload on senior management because decision making is distributed down the hierarchy. Senior management can spend their time on bigger issues like expansion, etc. This will result in long-term success of the business. Then in section B, there's a case study. Your section B question should be based on this case study. Use this case study in your answers. Outline one impact on Fender of using 3D printers to print out ideas for new guitar models. Fender can print off ideas of new guitar models faster, which reduces the cost of developing new musical instruments. Analyze the impact on Fender of charging high prices for its musical instruments. It allows Fender to keep manufacturing guitars using job production and the finest raw materials. This is because high prices will cover the high unit cost of manufacturing a handmade guitar, which would include the expertise of skilled labor. Also, if job production is used, it will help to recover the costs. This will enable them to stay profitable. High prices could reduce Fender's competitive advantage in the market for cheaper types of guitar. Not everyone could afford the high prices, hence market is limited, hence smaller market share, reducing the revenues and profitability. So here's the bar gauge stock graph, and which details the delivery of ash wood to Fender's factory for 60 days. So the days are given on x-axis, on y-axis it's the stock of ash wood in kgs. So identify the amount of ash wood Fender held as a buffer stock. So buffer stock is the lower line, lower dotted line, so which is 200 kgs. Identify the day when delivery B of ash wood arrived at Fender's factory. So if you look at the line, straight line B, and it coincides with day 32. Calculate the amount of ash wood that was delivered to Fender in order B. So it's again, look at the straight line, the maximum minus minimum, 2600 minus 2400, 2600 minus 400 kgs, so 2200 kg is the answer. Fender uses job production to manufacture its handmade musical instruments. Analyze the impact on Fender of using job production to produce these musical instruments. The guitars will be individual to each musician. This means musicians such as Bruno Mars will be willing to pay a higher price for an individually crafted instrument, resulting in high profit margins. Customers can have personalized guitars which they can gift to their loved ones. The high profit margins can enable Fender to expand their factory. The cost of producing these guitars will be higher as the high quality raw material is generally expensive. This could lower their profit margins if the extra cost of production cannot be recouped through selling the guitars at a higher price. There is a possibility that it could drop their demand. State one factor that Fender will consider when choosing its suppliers: quality of the electronic components supplied. Outline one possible benefit to Fender from using social media. It enables Fender to tweet that artists such as Bruno Mars use its instrument, therefore improving the brand image of its guitars. So for section B questions, use the case study. Now it's a 9 marker. Fender is considering two options to increase its profitability: increase advertising or increase price. Justify which one of these options Fender should choose. So you can choose any option, write positives about it, negative about it. There is no need to write about two options and then give a brief conclusion. Option 1 might be the most appropriate option for Fender because they already charge £10,000 for a guitar. Therefore, if they could attract more customers, revenue will increase significantly. Fender can use celebrities like Bruno Mars to advertise their guitars. It will help to remind potential customers about the unique handmade guitars. Also, information could be shared with them. However, the impact of increasing advertising depends on whether the increase in demand for Fender's guitars generates enough revenue to cover the additional cost of advertising. Paying the celebrities for the likes of Bruno Mars will be very expensive, decreasing the profit margins for them. Nevertheless, advertising will work for them to differentiate them from the competitors. Fender could use social media, which would be cheaper. This will lead to the large increase in profits. So section C is again based on a case study. Use the case study in your answers. Define the term takeover where one business acquires greater than 50% of the shares in another business. Using the chart in figure 5, identify the age group with which Argos promotional strategy appears to have been most effective. So this is just basically to read the graph, 55 plus. Outline one reason why being an e-tailer gives Amazon an advantage over Argos. E-tailing means that Amazon can reach a global market, therefore increasing its chances of being able to sell a large range of household goods. So your answers in section B and C should have something from the case study to score high marks. Again, it's a 9 marker. In order to improve its competitive advantage, Argos has two options: lower prices, increase the speed of home delivery. Justify which one of these options Argos should choose. So choose the option, write positive, negative about it, and that's how you answer this. The 9 marker, there's no need to write about both the options. Increasing the speed of delivery may make customers want to use Argos for the purchase of goods such as televisions. This is because more consumers will be attracted by the faster service. This could mean consumers would be willing to pay the higher prices offered by Argos and use Argos instead of Amazon, reducing Amazon's market share. and giving Argos a competitive advantage. However, increasing the speed of delivery may be impossible to achieve, and if Argos manages to do it, Amazon will almost certainly copy the approach, eliminating Argos's competitive advantage. Hence, Argos may receive a competitive advantage for only a short period of time. Nevertheless, speedy delivery is the most appropriate strategy for Argos, as customers will be happy and will repeat buy from Argos, thereby giving Argos a regular flow of revenues. Then it's a 12 marker. Evaluate whether Sainsbury's is likely to benefit from its takeover of Home Retail Group. Use the information provided and your knowledge of the business. For the 12 marker, give some knowledge, answer the question, give the counter argument, give a judgment. Everything should be in application. Increasing its size leads Sainsbury's to exploit economies of scale because Argos stores can be closed down and placed inside Sainsbury's supermarket. It will help to lower average costs so that Sainsbury's can compete more effectively with Aldi and Lidl by being able to charge lower prices. Argos is struggling to compete with Amazon, which is an e-tailer. Therefore, even after taking advantage of economies of scale, Amazon will still have lower unit costs and lower prices since it does not have any high street shops. So Sainsbury's is unlikely to benefit significantly from its takeover of Argos. However, different businesses target different market segments. Some low-income Argos customers may not normally do their grocery shopping in Sainsbury's, so the number of customers who use their large business could go down. Demand for Argos products will increase, leading to falling revenues since it may not retain all of its customers. Nevertheless, the takeover creates the UK's largest non-food retailer. Therefore, the economies of scale generated could be significant, allowing the enlarged business to effectively compete with large e-tailer rivals such as Amazon.